Hey, welcome in, everybody. Good to see you. How's everybody doing today? I want to encourage you to use the chat. And today's kind of a live to resurrect the lives that I have been neglecting. I was traveling for about 3.5 weeks. I went back to see family in Bermuda, and just the beauty of online teaching is you can take that with you. The beauty of having an online business is that things still run in the background, and I was able to enjoy some good times with family, and kind of had a crazy layover trip through New York and Japan, and stopped off in Canada for a few days as well. So it was great, and I've been back for a couple of weeks now. Normally, I do these lives on Mondays. I'm always looking for guests to have on the show. I feel like it's more interesting sometimes than listening to me. But if you are watching or know of a teacher that would be a good guest on the show, I really just like to chat with online teachers who do cool online teaching things, or if you have a story to tell about online teaching, or you have found an interesting way to teach online, or maybe you have a way of getting students or just a way of building up your business, please reach out to me. My contact info is on all my videos, and I would love to hear from you. Please like and subscribe if you're not already. That does help my little YouTube channel. If you get value from my videos, I really appreciate it. And I love making videos that I think will be helpful to people. I know I have folks that are following the channel from all different sectors of online teaching, and those that are right at the very beginning, and those that have more of an established teaching business. So I try to sort of find topics and things to talk about that might be interesting to everyone. So if you do get value from the videos, a free subscribe would be greatly appreciated. And if you're watching live, like the video. It helps it to get out to more teachers. So I've got my beverage here. It's an iced coffee tonight for me. Hi, Kathy. Good to see you. And the first comment here from Brenda was a question. We're going to tackle that one. Thanks, Kathy, for your answer there. And there you are from San Antonio, Texas. Cool. Hello, Zankia. Thank you for helping and replying me while you were away. Oh, I'm so glad. Hey, Paige. Good to see you. Thanks so much for being here. And if you've got questions really about anything to do with online teaching, things that I offer, maybe that I've talked about in the past, it's an open forum, so we can chit chat here. And I love when folks say hi and contribute in the chat. It makes things nice and interesting. One of the things I did while I was away was worked on my website a little bit. It's still the same, but I sort of consolidated everything that I offer into one place, because one of the struggles I had even is, I've been making products and courses and free downloads and all kinds of things for a long time. And I wanted to sort of consolidate that all into one place. And so you can head on over to onlineteacherdude.com/everything. And this was not a page inspired by my own thoughts, but something that I had seen other online folks doing, and I thought it was a really great idea. So at onlineteacherdude.com/everything, if you like checking it out, you can see everything that I've ever created all in one place. Lots of free things and some paid things as well. So that's all on that page there. Hello, Stephanie. Good to see you. Thanks for saying hi. Hey, George. What do the schools open? What do the schools open? I want to go on holiday. When do the schools open? And give me a little more information on your question there, friend. Has anyone worked with NovaKid before? I was invited to do a demo class and want to hear your thoughts. No, never have worked there, but I have heard folks that have worked there. So yeah, I mean, let's jump right into some top questions that I get asked. That is one of them. Online companies that are hiring, it's really difficult to keep track of. And so I just sort of don't as a rule, because it's, I don't really want to give out false information and things like that. And companies go through hiring phases, and some of them are good, some of them are bad, and some, everyone has sort of different opinions about various companies. So it's very difficult for me to solidly promote companies, but I have picked a few that I like, and I've put them on my website under the Teach tab. So you can go there. I also have a form there somewhere that you can just put in your name and email address, and I'll send you a list of companies that are hiring that, that I have worked with in the past, or that I can sort of stand behind. One of the big companies that did just start hiring again is VIP Teacher, formerly VIP Kid. I made a video about them last week, and I got a lot of answers actually since then. I had made sort of a dummy account with VIP Teacher as sort of a pretend applicant. I already have an account with them, and can teach on there if I wanted to. But I opened up a dummy account just to see what was going on with the new hiring that they've just started after 3 years. So they closed hiring in 2021, and they were a company that was always hiring. So they're at a place now where they are looking for new teachers. And I made an account, and well, you can go and watch that video for all the details. But I was left very confused with kind of what was going on, because I didn't get invited to a demo. However, just a few days ago, I did get invited to do a demo. So they are definitely hiring. They're doing it a completely different way. It used to be sort of, once you pass the application, you could book your demo right away. And now it seems to be taking, at least it took for me, about a week to hear back on whether I was going to get a demo. And then I went in there, and so it had like a mentor's name, and then I could select a time through sort of a calendar type of thing. So it seems that their technology has changed a lot since VIP Kid. The process was, it was just very different back then. You kind of just got invited, and you could select a time right away, but it seems to be a little bit more granular now. And I mean, they're not getting as many applications and things like that. So it's sort of done on a more granular, smaller scale. But there was a place for me to book a demo. Of course, I didn't, because I already have an account, but I just wanted to share that in case anybody was curious about VIP Teacher and what was going on there. So I love you. Roll up your sleeves and dive in. Oh, thanks. Yes. Yeah. Well, VIP Teacher was, or VIP Kid was a huge part of many of our online teaching histories, I guess. And for me, it was a massive, pivotal opportunity for me to get into online teaching, and for so many. So when they opened up hiring again, I did want to see. Also, those companies that I recommend, I do have them in the description of this video, and you are free to apply. As far as I know, all of them are hiring. The video I did a couple weeks ago about Twenix, where I taught a few adults online for the first time, they are hiring, but they're opening up applications in, I believe, early September. So, if you want to teach adults online, that's a good opportunity as well. Okay, so keep the questions coming. I will look at those as well. But I wanted to tackle just some questions about getting started and finding students, because I get questions about how to find students all the time. And probably the number one question I get outside of finding students is, Tim, how do I get started? Right. And I always find this a very difficult question to answer in like a Facebook message, or to answer in an email, or like a comment on a YouTube video. So what I usually come back and say is, give me some more information about who you are, and, kind of what your situation is and what you're looking for. Because getting started in online teaching is just a large ocean of possibilities. And you really need to kind of spend some time thinking and getting clear on exactly what it is you want, and what are you looking for in online teaching. What is your background? What are your experiences, your qualifications? And then we can sort of navigate, like, okay, do you want to work with a company? Are you wanting to go independent? Are you wanting to find your own students? Things like that. So there's a lot of entry points into online teaching, and the way I usually answer that question is to ask you to look at, what is it about online teaching that you are interested in? Who do you want to teach? And then to start to maybe build up your resume with some qualifications, like whether it be a TESOL or a TEFL certificate, and then to make a short list if that's the route you want to go with a company on companies that are hiring. And there's plenty of Facebook groups out there that have teachers in there who are sharing about companies hiring. And, there's a lot of information on the internet, especially on Facebook, about companies hiring. With YouTube, it's sort of hit or miss because companies that I have talked about in the past are no longer in existence. Companies that I've talked about in the past have stopped hiring. And so, you can't always rely on out-of-date information. So plug yourself as well into the online teaching community. That would be my recommendation on getting started, because you are going to start to kind of absorb what other teachers are talking about, what companies are hiring, how people are building up their teaching businesses. So really immerse yourself in the community, whether that be on Instagram or on Facebook. Of course, I have my own Facebook community, Going Solo Independent Teaching. We don't really talk about companies there, but we do talk about going out on your own as a freelance independent teacher. You can also, find resources on the internet, about that. There's websites, including my own, that do kind of help you to go from starting into getting involved in online teaching and how to grow as an online teacher. So there's a ton of stuff out there. So that's sort of how I tackle that question. Let me know in the chat if you are working with a company or if you are solo and teaching on your own, and how that's going, because we're going to talk about how to find students, or as I like to say, how to attract students into your world of teaching. So this would be for online teachers who want to maybe pivot from a company and to go out on their own, or for maybe someone who says, you know what, I'm just not interested in companies. I want to build this business from scratch. So Brenda says she's a certified EC4 teacher who worked in classroom 8 years, then VIP Kids, subbed. You've done a lot of things. I love manipulatives and visuals. Most parents want online tutoring, not in person. Help. Yeah. Okay. So, a lot of people will say that online teaching is a saturated industry. And to that, I say, great. It's saturated because there's a demand. It's saturated because there's always going to be people online looking to learn a language or looking to learn something. So I know that a lot of teachers follow me that don't teach English online. They teach other subjects. They teach things that they're passionate about, or they want to teach, through like a YouTube channel, or they want to, teach math classes or whatever, or another language. There's always going to be a demand for learning languages online. And what you need to do is position yourself in a way that allows people to find you, right? So you can't just sort of sit back and expect students to find you without putting yourself out there. So you do need to put yourself out there. And there's ways of doing that, without social media, without feeling like you need to build up a huge brand right away. Those things are important and things that can come in time. But just putting yourself out there and kind of seeing where you fit in the space is how I would recommend going about that. So how can you do that? So some sort of natural ways to just get started to finding your own students would be to use your own network. And nobody is going to talk about you being an independent teacher any more than you are yourself, right? You can certainly get people to help you to find students, but you need to be the one that is talking about your online teaching more than anybody else, and just being everywhere as much as you can to share what you teach online and how you can, most importantly, help someone to improve in whatever it is, right, that you're teaching online. So platforms to promote yourself. Okay, So let's segue into that. So you can use marketplaces, Preply, italki, Amazing Talker are three that come to mind. Preply, italki, and Amazing Talker. They're a great segue from companies to be in sort of a pool of teachers, a marketplace of teachers to list your classes. Sometimes it's a race to the bottom in terms of the price tag that you put on your classes, but there are teachers that are charging a lot that are doing really, really well. So look at those teachers, figure out what is it that they're doing that's making them successful, and then do it better. So you don't want to copy people. You don't want to copy their classes or copy their bios or copy exactly who they're targeting, but you do want to look at what they're doing and position yourself in a way that is unique, right? So I've done lives or videos before that show the behind the scenes of these marketplaces, and I searched for teachers that are charging a lot of money, and I want to see what are those teachers offering and why do they have thousands of students over several years, paying $50 or more per hour. Maybe you're not shooting for that amount right now, but that's what's possible. So marketplaces, a good way to promote yourself. You can also kind of go a different route and look at freelance sites like Fiverr and like Upwork. So Fiverr is Fiverr. There are lots of teachers on Fiverr, but not that many. If you go on Fiverr and you look at search for, I think they sort of, the language that they use is it's basically a freelance marketplace to get digital work done, or anything that you need done online using technology. Somebody can offer services on there in order to help you get it done. So let's say I wanted to edit this video, right? I just didn't have the time to do it. I just want to edit the video. I can go into Fiverr and look for someone who would have in their title, I can help you edit your YouTube video, blah, blah, blah. And I would look at what they offer. I would look at some reviews, and then I would just pay them and they get it done within, let's say, 3 days. So, and I send them the file. So that's like what Fiverr is. But Fiverr can also be a place where you can offer language classes. You can help people to improve in their English. You can help people to improve in their pronunciation, et cetera, et cetera. You can help people improve in test results. There's translation, transcribing, there's creating content, digital marketing, there's copywriting. I mean, everything under the sun to do with digital things is on freelance websites like Fiverr and Upwork. And the other day I did go and have a look, and there's an opportunity for language teachers and tutors to be on there listing, what they offer. It doesn't take much time. You just create an account. I believe it's free to list. They probably take a cut of whatever you make, but if you're just looking to get started and advertise yourself, go for it. Go on places like Fiverr and Upwork to get started. And of course, use your network, as I started by talking about that in the beginning. Use your network. Use, friends. Find other online teachers who can, maybe guide you into how to create content that's going to attract your ideal student. There's lots of online teachers that are providing that support. Using platforms like YouTube, Instagram, TikTok are great places to start. And I would always recommend just choosing one and going all in, and really give yourself, I would say, 2 to 3 months without expectation for necessarily massive results in the beginning, but to just start putting that evergreen content out there that's going to be found by people who are looking for you as a teacher. And I'm telling you, the more you are consistent with putting out content, you will be found in searches. People will find you and follow you. It's just how social media algorithms work. I talk about online teaching just about in every single video, every single live. I've written articles about it. I've made, hundreds of YouTube videos. And so people find me because of that. It's not just one video. It's the sort of snowball effect of showing up online consistently and making content and just being there to answer questions. So the same can be said about you as an online teacher, you're not necessarily talking to other online teachers, but you're talking to your ideal students. Okay. So I think, Brenda, you had a question in the very beginning about curriculum, and Kathy kindly gave a plug for Teachers Together English. So there's lots of online curricula out there. I will just give you a link here to a blog post that I wrote that has 10 online ESL curricula that you can check out. All of them pretty much have like a free tier so that you can sort of check it out. But I would definitely invest between $10 to $20 per month at the most. I wouldn't, you don't need to spend more than $15 to $20 a month. And you can get away with like even $7, $8, $9, $10 a month for an online curricula that's going to help you to teach your students. I personally use Crystal Weber's curriculum. It's called Crystal Clear ESL, and it's got, a very, very comprehensive library of lessons, and she's always adding to it, providing professional development. She's got micro courses. She's got a full level 1 to level, might even be level 8 now. I don't know. She's got hundreds of lessons, and it really does resemble, I think, what you were kind of talking about with VIP Kid. There's others that do very similar things. And so, I'm not saying that one is the best and that you need to do that, but you can sort of have a look, narrow down to 2 or 3, and then, decide on one. Maybe go for their free tiers and see. You can also check responsiveness. If you've got questions, send them an email, see if they get back to you. That's always a good indicator of good customer service. And but the ones that I recommend on there are all really good. They just offer sometimes different things for adults, for kids, and it's worth checking out. Kathy says, primarily teaching ESL and OutSchool. Cool. How's that going? I have private students that are VIP Kid holdovers, their friends, and a few newbies. Yes. I am an actual certified high school science teacher. So I teach high school science students here in the US for PLI, professional learning. I think that is right. Cool. That's awesome. Yes. I'm glad you still have some private students. That's great. And that they're recommending you as well. Hey, Kelly, I have company over, so I can't stay. Good to see you. Oh, good to see you too. Thank you for coming, and enjoy your company. Would you recommend more than one company in the beginning, or should an individual focus on just one company? I would definitely not recommend putting all your eggs in one basket with anything. So, you're not going to just all of a sudden get hired with a bunch of companies, but get hired with one. And then as that grows, add another one. As that grows, add another one. I would say 2 to 3 is a really good number to have for a couple of reasons. It's exhausting, number one, to apply, right? I know what that's like. It's exhausting. And to do demos and all those kinds of things. I get it. So I would keep it to 2 to 3. It allows you to fill in gaps if one company isn't giving you the bookings that you need. And also it just provides a backup. I mean, when GoGo Kid, for example, was a company I was with, went under in 2021, I had VIP Kid for a few more months. I also had Cambly in case I needed to teach with them. So good to have, 2 to 3 for sure. Let's just see if I made currently working for more than one company, so it's difficult to comply to that. Maybe I missed that part. When can we expect the wages to go up? Companies generally don't increase their wages. I've certainly never seen that. The best way to increase your wages is to charge your own amount to your own students. And, I like teaching with VIP Kid right now would give me about $15 an hour, but teaching my own students gives me like $45 an hour. Right. So it's like 3 times. So that's how I increase my wages, but don't expect companies to increase their wages. I really don't see a time when, like, unless we're talking about in years and years from now, maybe with inflation, possibly. But again, I haven't seen it. Companies charge or pay between $10 to $20 an hour. And it's pretty rare to find anything on that upper end of 10 to 20. So the average is like 12 to 14 these days, which is low, but it is, for some people, it's a great way to get started and a great way to find out what you love about online teaching and how you can sort of leverage that and grow in that space and, find new companies and go out on your own, maybe eventually as you gain confidence. Thank you, Kathy, for watching. And you're right, Stephanie, companies usually don't give raises. No, they give incentives. That's the best I've seen, right? Incentives for certain times of the year, maybe, or based on the number of classes that you've taught, different things like that. Of course, smaller companies, like, I shouldn't say globally that companies don't give raises, but the big ones generally don't, because they've got, thousands of teachers and tens of thousands of students, and it's generally fixed. But if you can find like a very small niche company, which there's lots of them out there that exist, that, really just keep their teachers to like 10 to 20, and it might be like an individual in China or somewhere else who has access to students, and they just want to keep a very small company. I worked with a lady in Canada a while back who had sort of contacts with influencers in China, and she used to get high-paying students that would take classes, and she had like a half a dozen teachers, and we didn't teach ESL, but we taught like subject classes with a focus on learning English. So I did like literature circles and book studies and things like that with the kids. And I did make a lot of money there with that company. And it was sort of flexible in terms of what I got paid. It was sort of negotiable. So like, I shouldn't say all companies, but small ones sometimes have that room. And, people ask, well, how do you find a company like that? You're not really necessarily going to find them, but sometimes they can find you. The more, I believe, the more out there you are about what you're doing and, on social media, the more likely someone is to reach out to you. And that's what happened in this case. Someone saw what I was doing and needed a teacher and sent me a message. When you have public profiles like LinkedIn, like Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and you have a way for people to contact you, that's just how so many opportunities for me have come, is just by being available online and putting out content and marketing myself and doing things like that. And it doesn't necessarily always mean that I'm just looking to get into the eyes of people who I want to join my courses and things like that, but other people see what I'm doing. I was a part of a documentary about online teaching a couple of years ago, and that was just because I had a YouTube channel. I was a part of creating a TESOL course with a teaching online course with a company, International Open Academy, just because I was making videos. So you just never know, like when you make a decision to get started with any business that you're thinking about, and just be consistent, put yourself out there, talk about what you're doing a lot. It will get lots of eyeballs on what you're doing, and you just never know, what kind of opportunities can come your way. Stephanie says, always negotiate your salary if you have the experience, especially if you nailed your demo. Also ask when you can expect a raise. It's worth a shot. Absolutely. Absolutely. Great advice. Thanks for that. How about a pre-assessment to inventory what students know before getting started with them? So there are assessments out there. I know that Crystal has one with the curriculum I use. You can sort of assess the students. You could search for something like CEFR, that's CEFR, CEFR standards assessment online. I believe that I've heard teachers talking about them. I've never used them, but that would sort of put your student into like the sort of CEFR standards, which you will see being talked about with the A1, A2, B1, B2, C1 levels. And then a lot of the online curricula will base their levels off of that, so that you can say, well, if my student is at an A2 level, that would be like level 3 in their curriculum or something like that. It's obviously not 100%, but it's a way that you can at least have a starting point. To be honest, I really assess my student in a trial class, so I get a really good idea of what the student is capable of, and then because I know the curricula really well, I can test a few units, lessons, levels, and sort of get a pretty good fit for them. And then, of course, you can adjust as time goes on if you've measured it incorrectly. But there are assessments out there. Cambridge, yeah, Cambridge has a good placement test. That was the one I was thinking of, actually. Not sure if you have to pay for it or not, but probably not. Lisa asks, sorry, Lisa, what is our best payment apps for private lessons? Well, the best way that I have found to receive payment, globally is through Stripe. You can also, of course, receive payment lots of different ways. It really depends on where your students are. So if your students are in China, then you setting up a Stripe account and integrating a WeChat Pay option inside your Stripe account and then invoicing your student is really the way that most of us do it, because it's so difficult to get money out of China in other ways like PayPal and things like that. Stripe is just a credit card payment processing company. You can invoice, you can create payment links. I embed things on my checkout forms for things that I sell to online teachers, and the money just goes into Stripe, converts, and goes into your bank automatically. I also receive money not from students, but from other methods through Wise, which used to be called TransferWise. So if someone had I did have a Hong Kong student once who transferred me directly Wise to Wise. So, if your students are in North America, I mean, you would, even if you live in North America, you'd know of different payment methods. But, having a Stripe account, having a business Stripe account is definitely the way to go if you want to grow your online teaching business and be able to reach a more global audience with payment methods, because you can add different payment methods within there to your checkouts, to your invoices, and things like that. I do have a video on integrating WeChat Pay as a payment method onto your Stripe invoice to invoice your student. So my student gets the invoice, they take out their phone, they scan it with their WeChat, it goes into my Stripe account. It has nothing to do with my WeChat, goes into my Stripe account, converts through the currency exchange to Canadian dollars, and I get it right into my bank in Canada. So I hope that answers. Yeah. PayPal works in China too. Yeah, hit or miss. Not everybody has good luck with that, but some do. But yeah, PayPal could work. Better for South Africans. There is also a company called Ni Hao Pay. They've been around for a while, and there is. Is that you, Stephanie, that helps with Ni Hao Pay? Maybe it's not you. I think it's another Stephanie. But anyway, there is someone who helps with Ni Hao Pay in my Facebook group. That's NIHAO. And that is an alternative for South Africans, for example, that can't get Stripe. WeChat Pay to invoice on Stripe. Yeah, so don't get yourself confused with your WeChat account. It has nothing to do with it. You will need to go through a verification process, and I recommend having like a business account with your business name. Just make one up and maybe have a Facebook business page. Some people say you must have a website now. It sort of used to be 50-50. You can make a cheap website on Strikingly and just have a way that people can contact you. Stripe, if you're going for a business account, just wants to see that you are a business selling services or products like classes, and that you are able to be contacted by customers. So all the best with that. If you have any questions, you're free to reach out. Unfortunately, not me. Haha, I've heard of NeoPay, never tried it yet. Maybe it's somebody else named Stephanie, or I'm getting you mixed up with someone. 谢谢老师, you're always a wealth of resources. Thank you, Bohemian Sun. Good to see you. Yeah, so I will hang out for a couple minutes more. Hopefully you got a chance, if you're watching, to ask questions. I do get often people asking, like, how much time and money does it take in order to get started? You can really start for next to nothing. You can use free things like Zoom. It's good to invest as time goes on, but you don't have to spend a lot of money to get started. There's a lot of free things, free resources out there. Um, Things that I recommend paying for are a platform like ClassIn or Koala Go or Zoom, curricula like the ones that I mentioned before, and maybe a payment processor. Well, you don't really pay for a payment processor, but you pay in the fees. But having something solid like that to be able to collect funds is really good. So thanks. I will end things in just a minute here. I've opened up slots. If you are kind of bogged down with confusion, questions, concerns, you just want someone to chat to and kind of work through your online teaching queries, I have opened up slots just for August. I'm calling it Power Hour. You can go to coaching.onlineteacherdude.com. So that's, again, coaching.onlineteacherdude.com, and book a time with me. I've always kept these really affordable, and my goal is that you really get value from that. You walk away with clarity, your questions answered, and an action plan to getting started with your online teaching business. So feel free to go down there and check that out. Would love to have you, book a call with me. That's a whole hour with me one-on-one, where we can kind of tackle your individual situation and help you to kind of get started, move forward, or to grow and expand into whatever area of online teaching or online business that you are interested in. So there we go. Thanks everyone for being here. I don't know if you noticed, but I've got the Olympics playing in the background there. I think it's Japan, maybe, and Taiwan playing table tennis. So I love Olympic season. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like it's just so fun to watch so many amazing athletes and sports, and just it's really, really fun. So I'm going to get to that and wish you a wonderful week. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week, probably back to Mondays. And again, if you are an online teacher wanting to be interviewed, that's what these are about usually. I just don't have anyone to interview at the moment. Reach out to me. If you know someone that would be a good interviewee on the channel, let me know. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace, everyone.